Welcome to Ahara Arogya Adhyatma, the light of Samskara. Today we have Dr. Spurti Anup Belludi, Professor, Head of the Department of Periodontics and Implantology in KLE Society of Institute of Dental Science, Bangalore. And she is also a director of Crystal Dental Clinic. And what is more, she has done a pioneering work in the stem cell therapy in the dentistry. Welcome, Dr. Spurti.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vijayalakshmi. It's been a proud privilege to be a part of your presentations and YouTube channel. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So without much ado, I'll start off with informing people about the oral and overall health periodontal systemic link. So the first question would be, what is oral health? Oral health means healthy teeth, gums, mouth that goes without pain or infection. So if you can see in this picture, there's a lot of plaque or tartar, what you say in a common language, plaque and calculus accumulation, which leads to the diseases of the gums. And not just the gums, it's the underlying bone which causes the mobility of the teeth, and ultimately you lose the teeth at a very young age. So this periodontal disease is a multifactorial disease which can be associated with numerous plethora of factors ranging from environmental, susceptible host, causative microorganisms, which are periodontopathic microorganisms, genetic factors, and not the least, it's the systemic factors as well. So the question is, how is oral health linked to the overall health? Yes, periodontal infection is a risk factor for the systemic diseases or conditions that affect the human health. So back in those days, William Hunter introduced something called as a focal infection theory, which was later on told is not correct because of the kind of ardent kind of response they took towards the human being. They tried to remove all the teeth so that if there are teeth are not there, oral organisms are not there, so
yes,
the overall diseases
that's what
are not
it was
there.
being done in the olden days.
Yes.
But
then this was again reintroduced with a more sane kind of a treatment approach, wherein they said that treat the oral cavity and you'll be treating the diseases of the overall body. That was given by Offenbacher, and they introduced the term periodontal medicine. So here you can see that the periodontal diseases or the bacteria not just affects the gum disease or bad breath or tooth loss or dental decay. It has effects on the heart problems, lung conditions,
brain,
gum diseases,
everything.
Brain inflammation, rheumatoid arthritis, obesity, and even pregnancy-related issues. So these are the plethora of organisms which cause these kind of problems ranging from all these overall diseases of our body. So the next question is, can gum disease affect the heart? Yes, of course, it does affect the heart, just not by causing a lot of heart problems like myocardial infarction, angina, or ischemia. It has a shared mechanism wherein you can see that it increases the fibrinogen, the white blood cell count, von Willebrand factor, and blood viscosity. So the infiltration of inflammatory cells into arterial wall causes the proliferation of arterial smooth muscles and intravascular coagulation, which can either cause ischemia, in this case, with this picture which you can see, or this can become an emboli and go and cause stroke in your brain. So this is clearly related to the...
It can cause atherosclerosis, it can cause a rupture, it can cause thrombosis,
absolutely.
It can cause the embolism. So all
absolutely
are possible.
Yeah. Okay. So this main study shows us that literally 9,760 men are affected in their study with periodontal disease, having a high risk factor of cardiovascular disease as well. So other than this, it was shown in animal models that whenever you injected this kind of a PAP positive strains which are available in your oral cavity, it showed that there was alterations in the heart rate, BP cardiac contractility, ECG readings all consistent with a myocardial infarction. So that was about your heart disease.
What about the diabetes?
Of course, poor oral health makes blood sugar control difficult, and diabetes worsens the gum disease. So basically, this is a bidirectional problem. As I was telling
one
you,
leads to another, and then
it's a vicious cycle.
Vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle. So the diabetes increases the advanced glycated end products, increases polymorphonuclear dysfunction, and basically your host response both ways, just like how you saw in COVID, it could be hyper and hypo as well. So the inflammatory reaction is a common mechanism for both diabetes as well as for periodontitis. For that matter, any disease in the body.
Yes.
So when you improve your oral health, your insulin sensitivity also is improved and your glycemic control is improved and vice versa.
Yes. Yes.
So not just that, it has effect on obesity, endometriosis, PCOS, intrauterine dysbiosis, and even reproductive and infertility as well. So it's seen that in obese patients, there's a 30% higher risk of periodontal disease, and patients with periodontal disease have an average difference of around 2.75 kilograms per meter squared on a BMI mean than the non-periodontal disease patients.
Yes, very important point, because just recently we have had a obesity day, International Obesity Day. More than 60 diseases are caused by obesity, and this is one of them. And here, obesity causes the ill oral health, and oral ill health causes the obesity.
Absolutely, you're bang on. So not just that, when I'm talking about females, it's also about the pregnancy, So there is a premature rupture of membrane. In many cases, it could be a patient who is a smoker or on alcohol, drugs, race, low socioeconomy, hypertension, high or low maternal ages, or even diabetes. And most importantly, patients with periodontitis. So in such cases, what happens? Because of the oral bacterial infection, there is a hematogenous transmission of bacteria into the amnion, leading to a false alarm of a preterm labor, wherein the prostaglandins increase. So that's why the infants are born just before the complete term, that is 37 weeks. Or even if it is born, it has a very low birth weight of 2,500 grams, leading to 40 times mortality.
Okay, preterm and the premature babies both are possible.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why I want to tell all the women, before planning your pregnancy, plan your oral health as well.
Oral health. Yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
So go to a dentist, take an appointment, get oral hygiene instructions given, oral health taken care, get rid of all the infections in your oral cavity, and then plan your pregnancy. Otherwise, this is how the picture looks like because of the increased hormones during pregnancy. So you can have pregnancy gingivitis or an enlargement in pregnancy that's called as a pregnancy epulis as well. Not just that, even periodontal disease has a link between pulmonary disease, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or even pneumonia, whether it is community acquired or even a patient who's ambulatory can swallow in and aspire all the oral infection and get a hospital acquired pneumonia as well. And to add to all this, there is a correlated mechanism that is linked between periodontal disease and cancer.
And the cancer.
Yes. If you can see, there are 20 oral microorganisms that can be related to various cancers like esophageal, gastric, pancreatic, colorectal, and hepatic cancers. So, and most importantly, I would like to emphasize on this, that as I told you, it's just not oral. Right now, they are looking at an oral gut bidirectional axis, wherein if there is a dysbiosis or a change in the microbial balance from a non-pathogenic to a pathogenic, then even the oral dysbiosis and gut dysbiosis can lead to a numerous number of problems in the overall body, leading to irritational bowel disease, obesity, diabetes, atherosclerosis, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, dementia, and even rheumatoid arthritis.
Oh my God.
It has been seen that there's a two-hit model that has been suggested to associate periodontal disease with rheumatoid arthritis. And not just that, they have found, and the researchers have identified
Alzheimer's disease also can occur.
Porphyromonas gingivalis, which is the main organism responsible for periodontal disease, is also the main responsible organism for Alzheimer's disease as well. So I think Trump thinks he's the one who's doing it, but who's done it? At the end of the day, I would say it's the oral organisms that have to be responsible and blamed for. And I don't think so Trump can take away all the credit.
Okay, but ultimately, the oral hygiene is the trump card. If you want to be healthy and very happy, you have to have that good oral hygiene. And that's why we in Kannada, we say, kai bai shuddhavagirbeku.
Very true.
In that case, the whole world will be happy and healthy. So let us all wish people to have a healthy oral hygiene.
Yes, so that's why clean mouth reduces infections and supports the overall well-being. And these are the golden rules of oral hygiene, which everybody should ensure that they include and incorporate into their daily lives. And they can use n number of things as home care methods, ranging from your manual, power-driven brushes, or oral irrigators, mouthwashes, even
I
olden
think
times
each one of
meswaks.
them, each one of them you have to explain in detail. We'll have
Detail in
in
my
the
next
next
presentation.
episode. You just tell
Absolutely.
them how to maintain the oral hygiene.
Yes, I'll
Yeah.
just give a sneak peek. So, not just in your house, we can also assist you with plethora of modalities, whether it is non-surgical or even, for that matter, surgical periodontal therapy. And with this, I would suggest that you can absolutely maintain your oral health if you can comply by these guidelines. And visit your dentist every 6 months, at least once in a year.
Thank you very much, Dr. Spurti. And I'm proud to have you as my daughter. And I'm also proud that you are my dentist and keeping me healthy by good teeth. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vijayalakshmi, and my mom, Amma, so giving me this opportunity. It's been a proud privilege. Never thought I would share a stage with you like this, or a platform
Thank
with
you
you like this.
so much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Yeah. Namaskara.